Hi everyone! Welcome to Fearless Women Wednesday, where we discuss all things fearless women. I'm Christina, founder and creative director here at Femme. Today's guest is calling all the way in from France, and we had some technical difficulties earlier, but I'd like to welcome her. She's an amazing jewelry designer, the former Global Creative Director of Swarovski, and new founder of creative agency Maison Minute Paris. Please welcome Nathalie Colin. I've just sent Nathalie an invite, so hopefully this time it goes through. Thank you guys for joining us today. I'm so excited to see all of you. Hello. How are you?
Can you see me?
So Nathalie's trying to connect. I think she's having some difficulties.
I can see you. You're very blurry, but I can see what resembles you.
Hopefully the connection will go live this time.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
How are you?
Oh wow, so there's like a crazy delay on your end, I think.
I can see you. You're very blurry, but I can see her.
I can see you.
Is that better? No?
That is better.
Okay, wonderful. Sorry, there was some line connection issues, but can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Cool, wonderful. Great to connect with you today.
I'm so excited to get started because it was really difficult to connect. I don't know why. I was like, is it the weather? What's going on?
Something went wrong. I don't know. I finally connected with my mobile. I started with the computer and then switched back to the mobile. So I don't know.
Okay, so let's dive right in. We both attended the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, and I must say you have such an incredible, well-rounded career. Having worked with Marc Jacobs early while interning at Perry Ellis, then as a marketing director for a trend forecasting agency, as well as founding your own creative agency and then starting an apparel brand in Beijing. Mm-hmm. All of this culminating to land you back at Swarovski, where you were creative director and EVP. Did you always want to be in fashion, and how do you feel your previous roles have shaped where you are today?
I think as far as I can remember as a kid, I was interested in fashion topics. As a little kid, I used to take my pen and write, accessories on top of Mellow, the catalog that my grandmother was having. And also a little bit later, I used to create clothes for my dolls out of the swatches, the fabric swatches that my father was bringing home after the season. He was working for a big textile company, and with all these prints, this colorful fabric. So fashion was for me always around. I didn't know precisely what job I would do later in my life, but I knew from a very early age that it would be something creative. And of course, at FIT, it was a dream for me to study at FIT, I guess like you, and I enjoyed it so much. I remember, I have so many fond memories of this time in New York, on Saturday morning, sketching the outfit for Saturday night, running to get some fabrics and accessories, sewing my outfit during the day, and sometimes, with the enthusiasm, forgetting to put some zippers for the pants, or having no time to finish the outfit for Saturday night. But what I must say that all these past jobs have taught me something. I've built a stronger agility, I guess, in my profile. Also, I think that today I've always been curious about whoever is coming from a different culture. But I think my openness to diversity has grown with the different jobs that I had, and my interest in general for fashion, for leadership, for mentoring, for creative topics across fields and categories.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm still blown away every time I hear any stories that come out of your mouth from your career. I read that you have a background in mathematics and physics as well.
Good.
Did you hear my question? Did we lose a connection again? Oh no.
I mean, from time to time,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I read that you have a background in mathematics and physics as well. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. It's true. Actually, what happens is, I remember when I was 11 or 12, I had to go and meet a counselor. And that was like a regular process for kids to meet someone who can advise about future career. And when he asked me, give me 3 things that you want to do in your career, I said, I want to travel, I want to speak English, and I want to design. And he designed a triangle. He put a point at the top of the triangle, and he said, there's no such job. You will not land a job with these 3 criteria. It's too limited. Since you're good at mathematics and physics, why don't you do your career, a more serious career in that direction? And so I started. Unfortunately, I was so little, you know, I got influenced, and I didn't forget about my dream, but I started to do a baccalaureate indeed in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. And after that, I promised to myself, I did the good thing. Now I can be a little wild, and I can go and do the things that I truly love.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you didn't follow this guy's advice, because that would have stifled everything that is you.
Totally
All
out
right.
of context.
How would you describe your personal aesthetic?
I think my personal aesthetic, it's a style that is quite personal, in general, colorful. Today I'm in white, so it doesn't represent really who I'm at. But I have a lot of accessories, you know. Accessories to me is what makes the style personal, is how you can change your look, how you can, you know, you can enhance your personality or reveal more about your personality. So I love individual style, and maybe today I'm in white, tomorrow I'm in pink, violet, blue. I mean, I change color along my mood, you know.
And you wear it so well. And also, I don't think I've ever seen you without jewelry on.
It's true. We don't see each other too early in the morning, that's why.
This is true. Do you have a fashion mantra? And if so, what is it?
I mean, I have quite a few. Some years ago, Eric Damon, you know, the stylist, American stylist, told me something. He said, don't apologize, accessorize. And I thought it's so fantastic. It's exactly my mood. It's exactly my motto in life. But I must say that I also relate very much to Coco Chanel, who has claimed, to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. And I think it's the point. It's not being different for the sake of being different, it's being you. And as we are all unique, it's just about celebrating and constantly pushing ourselves just to be you and to reveal more about who we are, you know.
I love that. I think Coco Chanel and Eric were both completely correct.
See?
Okay, so you founded your own creative agency, which specialized in cross-cultural creative projects across Europe and Asia in 1998. How did you come up with the name Cultural Sushi? And what was your takeaway from that experience as a founder?
I think when I wanted to create the agency, of course, the choosing the name is a very tricky one. You know, it's like choosing the name of your own baby. I remember I had to flip through two times the 20,000 first name for my daughter, and get me crazy. Almost the same when you have to create your own agency. I actually loved sushi. I wanted to find some connection between Asia and Europe. And I loved sushi, and I thought it's so delicate, it's so beautiful, it's all a work of art in itself. So I picked it just to, you know, and the fact that I will work between Europe and Asia on cross-cultural and artistic project. So that was the base of it. And of course, this first experience to me made me discover what is entrepreneurship about, and the beauty about it, also the energy that you need, the long hours, but the passion, the motivation, you work to pursue your dreams, to follow your vision. And I think it just made me, you know, want to continue this path for the rest of my life. And actually even the journey afterwards at Swarovski, which first I declined because I had my company. When I was offered the job of creative director, I first said, no, I'm not interested. I have my company. But then I found out through the interviews that it's almost like being an entrepreneur. It was the first time in history that there was this position created of creative director. So you had to set up the job. You have to set up the authority, what the job is about, what are the network, the connection, how you will interact with the team, what the job responsibility is about, where you create value. So it was another experience, almost like being an entrepreneur within a big brand, a big company.
Wow, that was amazing that you were actually given that opportunity and the stepping stones to where you are now.
It's true.
Okay.
And now I'm back to entrepreneurship, you know, Christina, because I created during the summertime, as you know, another agency. So that was, you know, after 14 years at Swarovski, I thought, okay, either I stay for the rest of my life in this beautiful position that I love, in the job that I love, with a team that is I really connect with, or I take the chance and I start again, back to entrepreneurship, back to my agency life, working for different brands, different projects around the world. And this time, when I picked the name, I actually choose the name with my daughter because she co-founded the agency with me. So it's a family business.
Oh, that's amazing.
And she's only 19. So when we brainstormed about the name, we picked Maison, which means home, because it's a kind of family business, but maison is also a word very used for couture houses or very high-end fashion houses. So maison is both the community and the connection to fashion. And minuit is like the tipping hour, you know, the very symbolic hour where you have the legacy of the day and the promise of tomorrow at the same time. So it's exactly the tipping point between the two, which we loved. And that was how we picked the name.
I love the story behind that name. Well, we'll get to more on that later. I definitely, I'm being blinded by my light here, so I'm just seeing spots all over my paper.
Too much sparkle around you, Christina.
So you're one of the most creative women that I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. You exude confidence clearly, as we can see right now, and that joie de vivre. No matter where you are or what you're wearing, you're always sparkling. In your mind, what are the staples every woman should have in her wardrobe?
Yes. I think you know, of course, accessories for me are very, very important. You know, it's something that every woman must have in their wardrobe, because you can have like a very simple outfits, but with accessories, it gives immediate signature, personality to any look. And so to me, the key thing when you build your wardrobe is rather to focus on accessories that will actually symbolize your personality, that will send out messages, and that will help you to mix and match and refresh some looks with a different style. So accessories to me have always been my life, not only the jewelry, but I have also a true passion for shoes. And I must say that every time I'm going out, you know, to buy some, let's say I have this idea, I need to buy this t-shirt or these tops or this jacket, I come back home with a pair of shoes, you know, which is ultimately, I don't know, I have so many shoes.
I mean, I think that's perfect. Every woman should own as many shoes as she can.
Exactly. I even have shoes that I actually cannot walk with because the heel are so high. So these are the shoes that I only wear at home for private dinner with my friends. So I can basically only walk from the kitchen to the men's salon. But the shoes are so beautiful. You know, I didn't want it to miss on these shoes.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, you can use them as pieces of art to hold your books or around your photographs when you're not wearing them.
Exactly. Always.
I do this. I have an abundance of shoes, as you must know. So shoes are everywhere in my house, in my apartment. All right, so living in Paris, one of the most magical cities in the world, where does inspiration often strike you?
I think the beauty of Paris is that it's a capital, so it's buoyant like a capital, but at the same time, it's a small city. Basically, you can walk to many different places. You know, you can change districts and areas. You can move from the right bank where I live to the left bank. You can enjoy, you know, the beautiful view of the Seine, and you can go to shopping district or to the park, all within half a day or a couple of hours. And I think to me, it's just about walking, experiences the beautiful, you know, journey of walking through Paris, meeting people. Some have a very fashion look, or some are more casual. The architecture is amazing. The view along the Seine is amazing. And for me, it's just daily walk, getting lost in Paris, walking through Paris, and getting inspired by what I see.
I would have to completely agree. Paris is like a dream, and inspiration is everywhere. Yes, definitely. Which museum is your favorite?
Well, I love Musée des Arts Décoratifs. I love, of course, Musée du Louvre, especially, you know, getting early in the morning, having a coffee at Café Marly, which is a nearby cafe, and you see the pyramid, you see this magnificent piece of architecture. It's and you see through the big glass windows also, if you don't want to get into the museum. So it's just magnificent. I also love, for modern art, Palais de Tokyo, which is very edgy, with great exhibition.
Well, next time I come to Paris, I'm going to have to go there with you.
Definitely, we'll do so.
Okay, what is the best career advice you've ever received?
I remember it came actually from a guy, from a senior leader, who told me, because I told him I was like down after I did a presentation, it did not go through, etc. And for me, I could not understand why my view, my vision, my analysis were not immediately endorsed, you know, by the rest of my colleagues. And he said, you know what? You lost this battle, but you did not lose the war. Nathalie, put on your stilettos again and go back to the ring, and you will win this game this time. And this is what I did. And every time I'm thinking, you know, every time you don't go through, or you don't convince maybe everyone around the table at once, think through. Maybe not this time, but next time you go back. Resilience, persistence, you know, sticking to your vision. If you strongly believe in, if you have the arguments, go back. Maybe the first time is not the right time. Maybe the second time, third time, you get your point.
If something doesn't work out for me, I try to figure out another way. How can I make this happen? There's got to be another way. Think outside of the box.
Actually, one thing that works very well is instead of addressing a group, addressing individuals who are part of this group and talking individually to everyone before the meeting. Mm-hmm. So that's when, because the group is quite strong facing an individual who's presenting, but individual, it's easier to convince independent leaders rather than a group of leaders who can, create a block altogether.
That makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't want tons of people ganging up on me either. What has been your greatest form of escapism during the pandemic?
First of all, I was in lockdown with my daughter, and we had a lot of fun because we decided, okay, we going to have fun despite the situation, which was really sad and really dramatic for many people. So we cooked. I did also daily dance classes with the teacher Florence Nathalie, Breathe by Flow, which was really, really fun. So every day my dance class through digital. I organized also apéro with the family. We even organized the apéro with the neighbors. So everyone would go to the window. We had like 2 buildings facing each other, and everyone was toasting. Some musicians in the building, so they started to play guitar or singing, so just to cheer the mood of everyone.
Oh, that's so heartwarming. And I mean, it's great that even though everybody was under lockdown, you could all come together and kind of just, celebrate that you're still alive and, you're going through this together.
So you have to be creative. You have to find out how can we connect and how can we still instill some good energy, positive energy, connection with everyone.
Yeah, I think that's really important. We kind of did that in Williamsburg as well. Every day at 7 p.m., everybody would go out on their balconies or their rooftops and clank pots and pans together, or just kind of noisemakers to celebrate all of the nurses and the doctors and everybody on the front lines who are risking their lives for us. And just New York sounded incredible every night at 7 p.m.
So for us, 7 p.m. was the apéro, so red wine or champagne or whatever, white wine. 8 p.m. was the moment we all clapped for the nurse and for the doctors and medical staff. So we had 1 hour apéro and then still again clap.
I mean, I'm sure that helped you unwind, which was my next question. How do you usually unwind?
No, actually, I'm doing quite healthy thing. I love to swim because I think when you swim in the water, it feels like it helped me actually to really disconnect from the stress of the day, from everything. So I'm quite lucky. I have a swimming pool 3 minutes away from my home, and it's open until midnight. So I usually go very late, even sometimes at 10 p.m. and I swim for an hour, and it feels so good. Also, or early in the morning. And the other thing, of course, is when you can disconnect by meeting people, cooking together with my girlfriends, and we have a good fun. We just cook together in the kitchen, and immediately, it's there's no more problems, no more issues. It's just a moment of fun and connection, great connection.
Those are definitely 2 great ways to unwind. I wish I could see my girlfriends. All of my close friends are nowhere near me. So it's been a while since I've seen them. So hopefully we can connect again soon. Exactly. What are 3 things that you can't live without?
I think definitely people around. I'm not I can work by myself, but I love to be surrounded by people. I love people in general, the nature of human being. I'm fascinated by human being and by their diversity. So the first thing, I cannot imagine my life without people, without family, without friends, without my team, without people I can connect with. Probably the second thing is a life without purpose, a life just to live a life every day. I think that would be so boring to live a life without anything that drives you, anything that pushes you, anything that pushes you out of your comfort zone and challenges you also in the morning. And a third thing, I guess for me is also, despite it's not possible at the moment, but traveling, because when you travel, you're exposed to different culture, it opens your mind. You have the feeling that you also, how can I say, it stimulates your brains, it opens up your mind, and it's so enriching to be confronted to other people, culture, heritage, you know, everyday life, mindset, ideas, visions.
Traveling is definitely my favorite thing to do as well. I really hope that we can travel next year because, you know, even though we love our cities, it's still, like you said, it opens your mind and you have new experiences, you meet new people, you try new foods. It's just a whole culture shock in a sense, and it's so inspiring. So I really hope we can both get back to it. Oh no, our connection is refreshing again. Ay, ay, ay. Hopefully we get her back in a second. Okay, I lost you for a second. You're back. I'm like, oh no. Can you hear me? And she's frozen. There's a little circle turning on my end, so I'm hoping we get her back in a second. Oh no. Hi, Ian. So great to see you. Okay, we have you back.
I can't believe
hope we didn't lose the first part of the
really
interview, but it is what it is. Okay. Have you discovered anything about yourself in a broader sense since you began your role as a creative director? Did you hear me? Are you frozen again? Oh no.
Am I? Am I?
The connection today is really bad, guys. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, I can hear you.
Bonjour, bonsoir.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
To answer your questions, I think the thing that I've discovered, you know, of course, part of my job was about creativity, and this I knew I loved from day one. But what I've discovered is actually what I enjoy almost as much as being creative is the development of talents. You know, being able to find out in one person, in one colleague or younger talent in the organization, something that they don't see themselves about in terms of potentials, in terms of axis of excellence, and seeing these people opening their wings, developing, and finding their own journey. And as a leader, this is one of my passions. I did a lot of mentoring, and I just love seeing people finding through their own personal journey something that will carry on their passion and that will build their future career.
That's so special. And I'm sure that you mentoring them and leading them and teaching them, they look back on you as somebody they can be grateful for having them in their lives as a part of their career journey.
I'm connected to many of them still today. And I think it's not so much that I bring them something, that I taught them something. I'm just opening their eyes about their potential and also helping them to build the self-confidence in themselves. Because what is missing the most often are not the skills, it's just the confidence that we can do things. So Absolutely. It's the level of self-confidence that is enriching through mentoring mostly.
Yes, confidence is so important. And most people have it, they just are too nervous to show it for some reason. I don't know why.
Exactly.
Okay, so your career has allowed you to travel the world. What is your favorite destination and why?
Mm-hmm. I don't have one favorite destination because I think you can send me wherever in the world. I will always find something interesting, even if I've been there 20 times, like in Japan or in China or of course US. I've been also many times and the rest of the world, but I've been also to more unusual places like in Myanmar, for example, or in the Himalaya doing a trek, with just a friend or this kind of thing. And I think all these countries, again, they enrich me. I think I stayed deep inside of me like a little kid. The kids who always say, why? And they're amazed and they have like open eyes and everything is new. They're never bored, they're never blasé. And this is, I think, my mindset and how I behave in life. I mean, put me in a plane, put me wherever on the motorbike or sometimes I get lost. Actually, I love when I reach a new place, a new city, for example, I jump on a tramway or I jump on a transportation and I just get lost. I have no clue whether, for example, the tramway is taking me or where the bus is taking me. Or I just love to get lost because it's how you, like a screen, in the movie, you just receive all these images, this sound, this music, the languages that maybe you don't get. But it's an impression that facets some great emotions and inspirations.
Absolutely. I love getting lost in new places.
Mm-mm.
As long as I can find my way back.
Exactly. Just have to make sure that you have a few coins in your pocket to go back.
Definitely.
Exactly.
What was the scariest thing you've ever done?
Scariest thing? I think it's also connected probably to travel because I used to just pick a destination. I was mentioning Myanmar. I just picked Myanmar one day. It was 1994, so quite some time ago. And I decided to visit the country, despite I know it was a military jungle running the country, but I was just fascinated by this culture, by the landscape, and I wanted to discover the country. I left by myself overnight with no hotel booking, nothing.
Wow.
And I just left for Myanmar for 3 weeks. When I came there, I had like so many adventures. I think one day I will write the book about that because I had, to escape in a restaurant some drug dealers. I had to run away. I had to also, I ended up in places where at that time there were no hotels, nothing. So I slept rough on the stones in temples, with people who were on pilgrimage, Buddhist pilgrimage. So I slept with whoever were there, in the, because I was traveling by myself. I went to visit some amazing ruby market in the Golden Triangle, and I thought I could hide, but I was the only foreigner in this place. It was like, it looks like, oh my God, if something can happen any second. I took a train, but from the south to the north, and actually the railway collapsed while I was in the train because of the heavy rain.
Oh my goodness.
And of course there were no wagon restaurants, so I was starving so much because it was supposed to be like a 6 or 7 hours journey. I ended up like spending, 15, 16 hours in the train. So I had.
And everybody was okay from this collapse?
Yes, it was okay. It was okay. So all this, traveling and the epic of this was when 2 days before I was supposed to fly back to Paris, I realized I don't have anymore my flight ticket. I have no more cash. And at that time, there were not even, can you believe, not even a cash machine in the entire country.
Wow.
So it's only cash. I had, when I first arrived, I decided, you know, to change my cash in the illegal market because I, it was much more valuable. I was still, you know, young in the profession, and I didn't have so much money, so I had to make most of the money I was carrying. So I changed, you know, the money, and I had all this money in my backpack, but at the end of the journey, basically, I had no more money. And then I had to go to the police. I mean, it was all a whole story, like in between, you know, hectic things and beautiful moment where I met people, where I visited amazing places that will be in my heart forever, you know.
This
So,
could definitely
scary.
be a movie. I hope some big producer is watching and doesn't steal your story, but wants to pitch it.
And you know what? When I changed the money in my backpack, I was sitting in a taxi, and I asked the taxi driver, "Do you know someone who can change the money?" Okay. And then he introduced me to someone. I changed the money, and then finally I thought, okay, I'm done. Now I can enjoy my journey. It was the first day I landed in Rangoon. I started to walk, then I visited the Shwedagon, which is an incredible Buddhist construction in the middle of Rangoon. Fantastic, with a lot of construction. People are praying there. So I was walking, and suddenly someone tapped my shoulders, and there were people in military uniforms asking me to follow them. And I had all my money in my backpack, you know, the local money. So I thought, oh my God, I'm in big trouble in my first day there, and I will be in big trouble. But actually, no, they just wanted me to check on me for the entrance ticket, which was a big relief. But it was all that big emotion during that trip.
Wow.
And great craft and great, you know, colorful, great moments with people throughout the journey.
That's quite a story.
But a lot of story.
Yes.
It's only the top of it. But
well, I'll definitely have to have some wine with you one day and hear the whole thing.
And what I've always said is, I think I have a good angel, but I keep my good angel quite busy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, so your astrological sign is Aries. Do you feel that plays a role in the way you live your life?
Maybe, because they say that Aries, you know, they love to break new grounds, to, you know, run, to make new experiences, to try to set things. And I think it's quite close to my personality and character. I love, you know, I'm the person who loves the white page. Some people are frozen with a white page. For me, it's something that I love. Having a white page in front of me and being able to sketch, to invent, to start a project, and to imagine what's come next.
I love that. I need to get back to sketching. It's been a while. I have so many ideas and I compartmentalize them in my head. And I'm like, I really need to get this down on paper. All right, you've designed so many incredible pieces over the years for Swarovski. Which one was the most memorable that you often still wear?
I think it was a ring that I designed, imagine, for the first collection. It's called Toi et moi, so me and you. You have two stones facing each other. It's a ring. And through the faceting, with the use of faceted crystal, the two stones are also embellished with a diamond set in the stone. And it's very graphic, it's very designed, and I guess because it's also part of the first collection, it has a special connection to me.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm definitely going to have to take a look at that one. I mean, all your pieces are exquisite, and I definitely have love for all of them in a different way.
Thank you.
So as you know, here at FSP, we often get dressed from the ground up, letting our shoes of choice dictate our outfit for the day. how long does it take you to get dressed on a somewhat normal day? Or are your clothes chosen before at night? And do you choose your shoes first or last when putting your looks together?
In general, I pick my outfit the same day. So basically, when I wake up in the morning, depending on my mood, you know, on probably also some activities, then I create my outfit. Except when I'm traveling very early in the morning, I don't want to be in a rush at 4 a.m. and having to have a fashion drama so early. So in that case, I prepare the day before my outfit. But usually I just follow my instinct, my mood of the day. And I would say half of the time I start with the accessories, so the shoes, the jewelry I feel like wearing that day. And half of the time is the clothes, and then I accessorize. So it depends on the mood. Sometimes I'm just obsessed. I really want to wear these shoes. And despite, you know, it's a rainy day, or I want to wear this top, despite it's not the proper top for the weather, it doesn't matter. I'm obsessed, and I want to find a way to wear it. So it depends on the mood, but of course, accessories definitely play a big part in my fashion routine, I must say. In general, I'm quite efficient because at home, I sort out all my clothes by color. So,
oh, wow.
Let's say by category and by color. So I have all my shirts together, and in my shirts, I have all the shirts sorted out on hangers by color, like my little store. The same for the dress, the same for the skirt, etc., etc. And so as soon as I pick a color, then it's easy.
I used to have my closet years ago this way. I had read an article from somebody, like a closet specialist, and they said to do it Roy G. Biv. And so you had the red and the orange and the yellow and everything consecutively. And I did it this way for many years, and then I kind of just gave up. Now it's just, exactly like the shirts, the pants, the dresses.
Exactly.
It's probably not as quick as picking a color, but it works. All right, so most people don't know this, but we actually met through Instagram. You had purchased our Aurora sandals at Printemps a few years ago and tagged us in the photo, writing, "The most appropriate pair of shoes is Femme sans peur, a cool shoe brand. With these shoes on, I feel so confident." I was like in shock that the creative director of Swarovski not only purchased my shoes, but loved them. So I had immediately sent you a direct message and told you that there were Swarovski crystals in the heel, and a friendship was born.
I do remember that.
Have there been any encounters while wearing our shoes that have been noteworthy?
I think that there's, when I bought your shoes, it was, I must say, with Aurora sandal, it was love at first sight. It was so distinctive. It was so unique. It's like never seen before. And it was exactly what I was looking for. Something special. I had no clue what I was looking for, actually. But you answered the question for me. And when I try on the shoes, not only they were like the most stunning, but I realized that with these shoes, I can also run fast. Very enjoyable to wear, which is a good asset for heels, And the first time I wore the shoes were actually on March 8th. I decided to make a celebration for the Women's Day at the office for the employees. I invited outside guest speakers, to also create more awareness about this day and women topic, and also maybe introduce them to inspiring women from outside. And so I was wearing the shoes. I also introduced my introduction speech, mentioning the shoes, mentioning the brand, and why I was falling in love with the shoes and with the brand name as well.
Oh,
So,
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall at this introduction.
exactly.
That sounds amazing. I hope that women who were in the office for this day were inspired by your speech.
They love it. Actually, every time I wear the shoes, every time I got compliments. People are fascinated. They just look at the shoes.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. I love hearing great feedback about our shoes and our product and how people are inspired by them. All right.
So unique.
You once told us a story during Paris Fashion Week about your girlfriend and how she used her shoe for protection. Would you mind sharing that story with us?
I mean, she was walking back home. It was night. And then suddenly, she felt that someone is following her. She's not the kind of girl who gets scared, but the guy behind her started to become very loud, etc. So instead of running away, she suddenly, tried to walk fast to make a little bit of distance with him. Then she removed a stiletto. She turned back with the 2 stiletto in her hand, ready to kick him in the face with a very sharp heels, and the guy ran away. It was great.
I love this. This is amazing.
So,
and this is really important for any woman who is ever being followed by somebody. If you're wearing a heel, you can take it off and use it as a weapon for protection, for sure.
It works that time. I don't know if it works every time. I mean, you don't have to have very complex way to take off your shoes, but it worked very well.
This is so great. I love this. Do you consider yourself a feminist?
Yes. And I think we have no choice. Whether we are a woman or even when we are a man, we must be feminist. And I think feminism to me is not being opposed to men. Being a feminist is about making sure that everyone, whatever gender, has the same opportunities and more important, has also access to as many choices in their life, as many opportunities, making sure that they can choose a life they want. I'm a feminist in the sense that if a woman would like to stay home, take care of the kids, and not have a big career, she can be also a feminist. It's her choice, as long as it's not imposed to her. So I don't have let's say, a standard, like all women must have a fantastic career, etc. No, I don't. But what I want to make sure is that every little girl in this planet, every woman can design and live the life that they really want, and that is not imposed to them by some narrow mind or old way of thinking,
That's so important. Have you seen the show The Handmaid's Tale?
The show of what? Emily?
The Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
This comes to mind when you're saying this, and God forbid that ever came back into play, that if some kind of terrorist were to take over a country and make women do this. It's horrifying to think that could happen in this day and age, and hopefully it never does. But after you just said that, it made me think of this show.
Totally. But
is there a particular moment in your career that has stayed with you?
Particular moment, of course, there are so many moments. I think one particular moment that really touched my heart, and you can realize the impact of what you do, that goes beyond just doing things. It's a message that is carried through initiatives. I did a fashion show. I had to do a fashion show, for 400 of the senior leader employees across Swarovski. And this fashion show, usually in fashion show, the ritual is to conclude traditionally with a look of a wedding dress. And this time, to conclude the show, and that was, I think, in 2009, at that time, I decided not to have one look of a wedding dress, but to have 3 couples coming out. One was, of course, a straight couple. Another one was a female gay couple. Another one was a male gay couple. And right after the show, because I didn't know how would the audience react at that time in 2009 internally, and my boss with a family member came backstage, and he was crying. He took me in his arm. He was crying of emotion.
Wow.
And he said, thank you. And after that, I received several emails from employees around the world saying, we are so proud to belong to this brand and to have recognized us for who we are, in our own preferences and lifestyle. And I think for me, it was natural, to feature the diversity and to celebrate the diversity. But it seems that it resonated extremely positive, and it was a beautiful moment. Beautiful moment.
That is beautiful.
Of course, not everyone were happier.
I mean, you can never please everyone.
Exactly. And you know what I learned? One thing that I learned, it's good to be polarizing. It's good to have a point of view. We can't please everyone. If we try to please everyone, we will do mild things. We will do average projects. We will have average thinking. We can't please everyone. So we have to follow our heart, our values, and do things as at best as we can, with our art and with our own vision.
I couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the inclusivity from your perspective.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, so you just founded Maison Minute Paris, or Paris. It's a creative agency. And what are your plans or projects that you're working on, and what do you have planned coming up?
So I'm working currently with different groups, different brands around the world. I would say 90% are overseas and only 10% in France. But soon, I think beginning of next year, we will announce like big news with a fashion house. It's something that is cooking right now that I cannot disclose, but it's so exciting because it's connected with everything that I love: fashion, jewelry, color, female empowerment. So there's all this in this project that are really driving me very strongly. And the agency is also a platform for me to work with talent, to work with the people that I've always loved working with, that I appreciate as human beings. And I also decided to take a totally different twist and to appoint my daughter as CEO. She's 19. She's
Wow.
She's studying at King's College, and now January she will join also Sciences Politiques in Paris. She's an entrepreneur by heart, and I think we hear a lot from consultants. We need to target the young generation. We need to listen to the young generation. But I think ultimately we need to put the young generation in command and let them also run things, business, like they do, like they want to do. They are there to facet the future. And on my end, I'm there, to make sure that she's not making big mistakes, that I can be an advisor. And of course, I lead the creative direction of the company. But I think it's good to trust the young generation, and age is one thing, but it's not all.
That's so exciting. I'm so happy for you, one. And two, that you get to work with your daughter and you're both so close and incredibly creative people. I can't wait to see what things come. And I really want to know what's going on for next year, but I'll have to wait.
Yes. I will let you know.
Do you have any advice for young women or persons who are dreaming about being in the fashion industry?
I think the first advice is you have to sharpen what you want to say, who you want to be, what your personal branding. Who are you? What will you bring to the table of fashion? what is your uniqueness? What is your message? How will you engage people with something that is personal to you? So don't copy paste. Even the most inspiring people around you, don't copy paste what they have done. Find your own way, your own path, based on your own trust, your own beliefs, your own personality. So sharpen your voice, sharpen your identity and your personal branding. And be bold, think big, you know. Nobody should stop you. It's only your mind that's stopping you from achieving big things. So go big.
These are incredible words of wisdom. I think I'm going to have to put that in a GIF.
Thank you.
What are you looking forward to in 2021?
I mean, the first thing is, of course, that the world, you know, can enjoy a little bit of a more safer environment, you know, away from COVID, because I think it affects so many lives. There's so many people who have been hurt directly by the consequences of COVID, whether from the health, you know that, losing family members,
yes.
You know that, and also from the business side, or losing a job, or not being able to follow their dream, to study abroad, whatever. So many young people are also affected by this, by the consequences. So I hope there could be a little bit, I mean, much more serenity and that stability, that we can forget step by step about this COVID traumatic period. But I also hope that this pandemic has opened up the mind of people, that they will not just want to go back doing things as they used to do, that there will be more wisdom, that there will be more respect, that there will be also more respect for what we realize we cherish so much, the time with our loved one, the time, you know, to give back, the people around us, basically everything that we are missing when we are in lockdown, when we are cut, and something that we take for granted. I hope that finally we realize that we need to cherish more. We need to say more thank you to people, more I love you to a lot of people
Yes.
around us, and demonstrate this. So basically, I hope that 2021 will be a year where there's more love going around and less violence and less trauma.
Absolutely.
And on a personal note, I think I'm looking forward to continue the journey that just started with my agency, Maison Minuit. And I hope that this year will also be a year, you know, full of surprise, hopefully positive surprise. But
yes.
Again, hopefully there will be like some nice thing I cannot dream of, and that will just pop up in my life by surprise.
I hope so. Well, that concludes our interview. I'm so happy that you were able to join me today. Regardless of the technical difficulties, it's always a pleasure to speak with you, Nathalie. I'm excited to hear about the amazing things you're doing with your new position and your new Maison Minuit agency. And I look forward to catching up with you soon. So thank you everyone for who tuned in, and we will have up the interview in about an hour. All right. Take care, Nathalie.
Bye-bye.
Bonsoir.
Thank you for the
Au revoir.
invitation. Bye-bye.
Merci beaucoup.
Bye. Bonsoir. Bonne journée. Ciao.
Ciao.